Hi and welcome back. Today is a snowy, rainy, sleety day here in New England. I'm home today by myself, so I figured I'd get a couple things done, some things that I've been putting off. We're going to be making some macaroni, cream of chicken, and a can of chicken for lunch today. It's kind of like a tuna casserole without the tuna, and I'm not going to bake it. I'm just going to eat it like that. But today I also have some apples I need to cut up, so I want to make an apple pie filling. Get that frozen. I have a lot of onions I need to cut up. I want to get that done. And if I have time, maybe some sweet potatoes I want to get done. It just depends on how I feel today. So over here we have our macaroni boiling. A lot of times I do use elbows, and sometimes I use egg noodles, but the brand that I particularly like has not been in the store lately, so we're going with this. And then we're just going to use any kind of cream of chicken soup and any kind of chicken in the can, and then you just mix it all together. If you want to put it in the oven with some cheese on top, just like a tuna casserole, go right ahead. I prefer it this way. As soon as the noodles are done, I'll mix everything together, add some butter, and have a bowl. And it's just me here today, so that's what I'm going to do. Over here we have our pan out. That's what we're going to use for the apple pie filling. And over here we have the apples out. We're going to need about 12 or 14 apples. It all depends on what size they are. And you'll see. My recipe's going to make 3 batches of it. So we'll use some brown sugar, a little bit of sugar, butter, salt, cinnamon, vanilla, and some cornstarch. Then we also, over here, we have an abundance of onions. I have 2 or 3 bags of these. I don't know how that happened, but it just did. So I'm going to process them. I'm going to get them cut up, chopped, put in the freezer. Some of them I'm going to shred like I did with the corn chowder, for those in my household that do not like to bite into an onion. Those ones, after I shred them, I'm going to put them in an ice cube tray, put them in the freezer. When they are frozen, I'll pop them out and put them in a plastic bag. Then I can just take them out and add them to whatever recipe I need them for. Okay, everyone, my noodles are done. I'm getting ready to drain them. I did want to mention that you definitely want to salt your water. Cannot get it back, like I told you the other day with the potatoes. There's no going back after you've already boiled them, and you're going to add salt till you're blue in the face. It'll never taste like you salted it. I also want to tell you, I usually go shopping once a month, so starting this in the middle of the month, I really didn't have, I break up my meats and do things like that, and I don't have my receipts, so I don't know exact prices. But I want to tell you, this, I am having it for lunch today, but a lot of times I make it for supper. A box of macaroni elbows, you're going to get that for $1, $1.25. Depends on the brand you buy. A can of cream of chicken, same thing. You're going to pay $1.25, $1.35. It all depends on what brand you have. Your cream of your chicken in the can. For a small can, where I live, they're $1.50 a can. And if you wanted to make it a real casserole, the cheese, you're going to pay $2.50. You're not going to use that whole bag of cheese. Well, you might if you like cheese. So this whole meal, again, is under $6. It's delicious, it's quick, it's easy. And everybody in my household enjoys it. And it's warm. It almost feels like a mac and cheese without me putting the cheese in it. It's just a thick, creamy, delicious macaroni-ness. And I am going to, I had some leftover spinach from last night. I'm just going to throw that in the microwave, and I'm going to have some spinach with it. So I'm going to sit down and have my lunch, and then we'll be back to peel, cut, and chop away. So here it is finished. I added just a little bit of black pepper. That's really all I added to it. You can taste it. You might want more salt. You might want to add some onion or garlic salt. I never do. I added a little bit of butter, and that was it. So I'm going to sit down and enjoy my meal, and we will be back. So I spared you all of the peeling and chopping. So I've got my last one in the cutter. We're just going to bring our thing down, give it a good chop. Oh. Of course, it doesn't want to open for me now. The last one gets stuck. Here we go. And that is it. I did 12 apples. Now we'll get ready to get everything into the pan. I saved all my cores, peelings. We have deers that come through the yard, so we'll send these out to them. So next we're going to get all our things in the pan and make up some apple pie mix. Okay, so now we have our 6 cups. That's what I want apples made. With 6 cups of chopped apples. 6 tablespoons of butter. Sorry, let me just grab a scooper real quick. We're going to add in, we have 1 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of cinnamon, a teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to add in a pinch of salt. I guess 2 pinches of salt. We're going to add in a 1/4 cup of water. And I apologize that this may look like it's all over the place. My first couple of videos, my husband did videoing for me, and my son helped me with the other one. And he bought me the stand, but I'm struggling with it, so now I'm just holding this. So what we're looking for here now is this all just to kind of cook down. It's going to make its own little juice. Once it's gotten soft, we're going to add in our slurry right here. So you got some cornstarch and water. I did 3 tablespoons of cornstarch and 6 tablespoons of water. And we're going to wait till that's all nice and soft. We'll let it cool. We'll bag it up. And for me, this is cost efficient because I do make an apple bread recipe. And for 1 can of already pre-made apple pie filling is close to $4. So this has cost me $3 for the bag of apples, which I still got a few left. And then, of course, my sugar, which I already had. Vanilla, I already had. Cornstarch, I already had. Salt, I already had. And butter. So, and it's going to make me 3 batches of that. So, that's quite a savings in my book. So, we're going to start chopping. We're going to let this just kind of get soft. It's probably going to take anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. Keep stirring it. We're going to get chopping on our onions next. So I just want to show you again how I do the onions. I grate them so that we have the onion flavor, but nobody has to bite into them. And I did it on my first video, but just in case you didn't get a chance to watch that. And if you have not watched it, why don't you, after watching this one, run over and watch my first one. And before I forget to say it, I would appreciate it if you enjoyed this content, if you liked, subscribed, shared, commented. Any of those things would be awesome, and I would really appreciate it. So I'm just going to show you. I have a grater. I have a bowl here, and I'm just going to take the onion until it's all gone. Just keep on grating it till it becomes like a liquid form. And once that's done, I will, I started out with 4 of them. Put it in the ice cube tray, freeze it. Once it's frozen, pop them out, put them in individual bags, and I can throw them in anything. Meatballs, meatloaf, soup, stews, whatever my husband's eating pretty much. So that's what we're going to do with these, and the other ones we'll chop up because sometimes I do make separate meals, and I don't mind the taste of an onion or biting into an onion. All right, I'm not going to bore you with all of this. It's going to take me a while, so we will be back, and I'll show you them in the ice cube tray. So I end up doing 5 onions. I just want to show you real quick. Kind of makes like a liquid onion mess, really. But now I'm going to take what I made so far, and I don't know exactly how many it's going to make. I'll tell you when I'm done here. But that's all I'm going to make for today, only because this was really starting to hurt my arm. And once something starts hurting, you stop. And don't do that no more. So, and they weren't very big onions. I showed you them in the beginning. They were all pretty small onions. So already I got 6 ice cube trays full. And I would probably have to use 2 cubes per recipe. It all depended on what I was making and how much. Well, that ain't too bad. So that makes, let me get the last bit of this. Let's see, we'll put that one there. 2, 4, 6, 8. End up making 5 onions, end up making 9. Let me see if I can show you this without spilling it. I know the light is so bright right there. Ugh. You know, if I move you, I'm going to lose you. But there we go. That makes 9. So I'm going to pop these ones in the freezer, and like I told you before, as soon as they're frozen solid, I'll pop them out, put them in a plastic baggie, and that will be it. So, and then I wanted to show you that, so I did have some onion pieces left over, and we're going to put that in our scrap bag after. So we have, oh, come on, in this bowl, we have a bunch of scrap pieces that we'll use for soups. And while I still got you on here, I did want to show you, I added the cornstarch to our apples. And now they're just sitting here kind of getting thick, cooling down. And then I will take 2 cups at a time, bag, and freeze that. But it's, if you can tell, it's starting to get thicker and thicker. That's all. Next, I'm going to chop, peel, chop, and bag up some more onions. Okay, this is what we have accomplished this afternoon. We've got 1 container of onions that we can stick in the fridge. I did about 1.5 cups in each thing. So we have 3 bags for the freezer. Again, 1.5 cups each thing. We got 3 bags of apple pie filling. And it's not just for apple pie or apple turnip recipes. You can take out a bag and add it to your pancakes, waffles. You know, there's lots of different things you can do with this apple pie filling. And it's already done. All your spices are in there. Unthaw it, and you're good to go. And with all that chopping of the onions, I also had added quite a bit to my stock bag. So we don't want to waste any of those pieces that were too tiny to no longer chop or slice down. Grate down, rather. So again, thank you guys so much for being with me this afternoon. And I hope I get to speak with you all again. God bless.